Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And this is Gary Grigsby's War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, and it's our Let's Play against the devilish Mr. Ludric. It is now March 1st, 1942. We've already gone around the map and looked at the planning phase, but now we're going to get the combat resolutions for the 1st and the 2nd of March 1942. Now, last turn was a little slow for this game. This game has been wild, as we've talked about many times. He's been very aggressive, which has made for a great game so far. So let's see what he has in store this time. We'll be looking. He's in a few of our hexes. In China, he's in Wu Chao. We'll see if we get a battle there. He's also landing in Java. He's in Port Moresby. So we'll see what happens. March 1st, March 2nd, 1942. All right. First things first, we want to locate his carriers as always. We don't really have a good bead on where they are exactly right now. We lose sight of them when they move back to their home bases, which I think they've been doing. He obviously had made that raid into Bombay, which was wild and crazy, but I think he's now had to go back, rearm, maybe get some new planes and etc. All right, he's unloading more at Somlaki there, just north of Darwin, just north of Australia, getting very close to the Australian homeland. Going through all the phases. Now, this is a Dutch sub. It appears to have been found out by a Japanese sub chaser. Now, we had pointed out in the planning phase here that we're in the shallow water. They're much easier to detect, but he's got so many ships coming over here. I thought we might get lucky, but it looks like this sub chaser is going to get a few hits. Well, he gets one, hits one. We're not seeing heavy damage or fires or anything. We actually attacked him, though. If you look up here, sub attack, we launched 4 torpedoes. We don't hit the fast sub chaser, and instead he hits us with a depth charge, I would imagine. All right, here comes the Coast Watcher search. So these are people that we have on land that are reporting what they're seeing in. Not a whole lot in and around, Papua New Guinea. We still have a lot of people on the ground there, so we're reporting various ships that are moving about. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, this is right off of New Zealand. Well, I said right off of. It's quite a ways off of the eastern coast of New Zealand. We have found a Japanese sub out here. Now, what's interesting is we had an AVD in here, which is a tender, um, and we had a destroyer in here running escorts. Well, the AVD got hit by a torpedo. So torpedo hits one, it's on fire, heavy damage. We also hit the sub twice, so we returned fire there. We'll see. I mean, it'll only be okay if that sub can't make it all the way home. We may lose an AVD, the Mackinac there, and sure enough, it goes down. Well, we had escort with it. What can you do? A Japanese destroyer has discovered another Dutch sub here. That's an ASW attack, so he found us. He had a couple of destroyers with this group, but nothing happened. And now another Dutch sub here off in the Java Sea, and again found out by a destroyer. Like I said, in this shallower water, it's easier to find our subs. We get hit 6 times there. Too bad we didn't hit anything. Did we even fire any torpedoes? Nope. That was an ASW attack. He found us. He then dropped, hit us 6 times. We didn't even get torpedoes off. We're constantly sighting ships near Pearl Harbor. Now, obviously, those are probably erroneous reports. It could be that we're spotting submarines uh, or spotting our own ships and misidentifying them as the Japanese, or it could just be a completely erroneous report. Although that's a strange one. It's probably our ships moving in there, but we have poorly trained naval search pilots at this point of the game, and so they make a lot of incorrect calls. Right now, our recon aircraft are reporting back what they've seen, either recon or naval search, but when they're doing naval search, it's essentially recon, right? Okay, 20 Sonya's in here on Wu Chao. Now he's got units stacked here at Wu Chao as well, and he's trying to soften us up a little bit. We do take 15 casualties on the ground there, and Idas are being escorted in with Tojos. We take 15 more casualties, so 30 total casualties on the ground. Now he's bombing Hengyang. Nope, he's not bombing. He's just sweeping over the top with the fighter, the Oscars. 5 of them sweep over to just make sure we don't have any fighters in the area. Okay, now he's going to bomb this group that's trying to get back to Hengyang. So we have a stack that's trying to get back there. We take 6 casualties on the ground. And he's going to bomb them again because that's what Lodric does. We take no losses that time. Okay, 9 Lilies in here to bomb that group yet again. No damage that time. And he's going to bomb them. Oh, this is a different group. Sorry, this is the group that's down in southeastern part of China. They're kind of all on their own. They're totally isolated out here. We take 15 casualties there as we continue to get more and more reports of Japanese aircraft. This time from the ground. You can just see the line of ships queuing up to come into the port there on Java. He's got a beachhead. Uh, the SS Tuna got attacked, but we didn't see that anything really happened to it there. So he did attack one of our subs with a search aircraft of some sort, but we're not seeing that we took any damage. And again, you can see our naval search and recon aircraft are reporting back all of this Japanese activity. You can see all of the task forces coming back at Singapore. He's got them in and around Oosthaven, and he's just got a line there. 5 ships were reporting near Perth. That's something to keep our eye on, certainly. And now he's going to start bombing Port Moresby again. He's got 59 Bettys and 26 Nels. He's not even bothering to escort them in because he knows we have no aircraft running cap over Port Moresby. We do have some anti-aircraft on the ground, but they only damage one plane. We take 17 casualties. All right, our little seagulls here, they've already knocked out a couple of ships. It's been the best planes we've had in the game so far. They've got a bead on an AK out here. Come on, hit it. Oh, he didn't hit it. He missed it. Sorry, I escaped past that. But yeah, we tried to drop some bombs there. Now, those seagulls, like I said, have had some good success out there, but they missed that time, unfortunately. Sometimes I get a little too active on you hit the escape key in this game to move beyond, the watching all of the animations. Oh, the Tautog is in trouble. The flotation is not repairing. That's the Tautog. I just like to say Tautog. He has been hit previously. He may go down. All right, now he is landing at Shortlands. He took 13 casualties doing it. We don't have anything out here, and so he will take the Shortlands. See if we get any land attacks here on March 1st. And we do. He's attacking. No, he's just bombarding here at Wu Chao. So as he does, he gets into the hex. Then he does bombardment for a few turns and brings his bombers in to soften us up. He takes 8 casualties. We take 7 casualties from his bombardment. Now you can see he's moving north up the road. Now this is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a Japanese player do this before. These are all worth like 30 points. So he's going up here and just nabbing these. We've got to get back up here and take these before 1943 starts, because this is the kind of stuff he'll do to win the game and get to that 4-1 point level. And so you can see he's got a decent force out here. It's got 350, almost 400 in attack value, and we just don't have hardly anything up here. So it's very smart that he's doing this, but we're going to have to bring forces up here and take this stuff back at some point. Let's see who takes what. He takes 129 casualties. We take 3378. That's what happens with Chinese forces. Man, they just take a licking. Now this is a deliberate attack on Samlaki. We don't have anything there, so he will take Samlaki. Now he is doing a ground attack at Tulagi, and he also takes Tulagi as he starts to come down the Solomons. This is Guadalcanal here. He's taking the Solomons. Now we're right here. You can just see Espiritu Santo. That is where Luganville is. And so we're into Luganville. This is how much separates us now in the South Pacific. Okay, the 67th Naval Guard is taking this base Zamboanga. Okay, so he's just slowly grinding base by base by base. Okay, 81st Naval Guard, he's attacking down here at Jokjakarta, and he will take that. We don't really have anything there, so he's now taken Jokjakarta. He doesn't lose any troops doing that. They were very careful. All right, now this is a deliberate attack at Balabac, and he captures Balabac, so it's just base after base after base here. Port Moresby, this is our bombardment. We're bombing out of the port, and he takes 7 casualties, but you're really doing it to disrupt him as much as you can. And now we're up to the different expansions, whether it be fortifications, ports, airfields. That's what they tell you right at the end of the turn. They tell you that, and then they tell you any new stuff that came in. So he took a lot of little bases there. He did his usual bombing. We did lose that AVD, but we hit back at that submarine. It's possible, that maybe that submarine won't make it. Okay, and now you can see the destroyers are being taken out of commission to begin their refit. You remember during the planning phase, we turned all those destroyers on. I did not want these AKLs to be upgraded. It's not a huge deal. That's fine if they are, but it does take a little bit of supply. So really, there's no purpose for it with those AKLs. Moving through all of the last phases as it brings in replacements, merges, reassigns leaders. We haven't talked much about leaders. We probably should. The number 45 Squadron RAF comes into Bombay. We get some field artillery and some aircraft at San Francisco. That was it. Kind of a slow turn for replacements or reinforcements. We got a lot last turn right at the end of February. It is now March 2nd, and we'll begin that day. Okay, Shortlands has now been occupied. That turns to a Japanese flag. Okay, now the same sub, now this is the one that we damaged. It gets into an AK. So this thing's still breathing out here. I thought hopefully that we had taken it out, but we did not. So we had a destroyer with this group. The destroyer did hit it a couple of times, but now it's gotten into the coast farmer, and we've got heavy damage. We'll all be damned. I was really hoping we had put that sub out of commission. I mean, all you can do is run escorts with these things. You can't just sit at your bases and do nothing. You've got to get supplies out here, and looks like he's going to try to finish off the coast farmer, and it looks like he probably will. Torpedo hits two, it's on fire, heavy damage, and down goes the coast farmer. Well, gosh darn it. Where's our destroyer over there? Those guys are like, sorry. They're on the radio. They're like, well, the coast farmer's down. Really? Well, we didn't find the sub. Now, to be fair, that anti-sub capability on that destroyer, the early American destroyers, it's only a 2, so they miss a lot of stuff. And, well, they missed that one. They hit it a couple of times the first time, but not the second time. All right, we're sighting ships off of Port Blair. Those could be returning back to Singapore. They could be stragglers, or they could be his carriers already refueled and refitted. We'll have to look here and see if we know what that stuff is by Singapore. Hopefully, we can identify that that's his carriers, and so that could just be a battleship group, maybe going over by Rangoon or something like that. We're saying that we see a periscope out near Vancouver off the Canadian coast. All right, you could see there it went by quickly, but there was a mission canceled because of bad weather. And now here comes his carrier attack. Well, this could be out of Rabaul, actually. We've got Zeros, Vals, and Kates, a huge bombing force, nearly 150 bombers, escorted by 60 Zeros in on Port Moresby. You can see they're just blasting away all of that aircraft. We damaged zero, we damaged six Kates, we damaged four Vals. We only lose 8 casualties on the ground, which is pretty amazing. Was the bad weather here? What's going on? Moderate rain. Well, that certainly helped us. You know, the moderate rain, it's going to be hard to bomb into that. You just can't see. It's not like, this stuff was laser guided or something. You got bombardiers back in the back staring down through, scopes. So anyway, only 8 casualties, and I think we damaged 7 or 8 planes there. So fantastic. Now he's coming up over the group at Wu Chao, and we got some AA up in the air, but we only damage one plane. We take 19 casualties on the ground. I don't dare say that his bombing's effectiveness is down a little bit because then, we'll get one of those 220 casualties or something. But we do destroy an IDA by flak this time and take 24 casualties on the ground. Oscar's up over Hanyang, just seeing if we happen to have any fighters in the area. 16 Sonias, this group that's southeast of Hanyang, that's been bombed multiple times. We take 12 casualties on the ground there. 11 Sonias on this southeastern Chinese group. It's the only group we have left down here. 32 casualties on the ground. Hey, our seagulls got back in the air. Maybe they'll hit this time. We could use a nice bit of good fortune. We've got an AK in our sights. I'm just going to let this play out. Well, it looks like we missed, unfortunately. So we were bombing from 6,000 feet. They're carrying two, or they dropped two 250-pound bombs. Miss, unfortunately. We needed that. If we would have gotten that, I would say, hey, this turn's been just fine. But it's been just fine anyway. I wish we wouldn't have lost the Coast Farmer cargo ship down. If it's going out by Auckland, it's probably a 10 or 12 point cargo ship, so it's not minuscule. It's some real points. He's bringing ships into some of the places and consolidating where he's landed. Betty's and Nels, this is in on the Dutch groups that were originally in Sabang and have been coming down the coast. I'm trying to get them to Medan and maybe make a stand at Medan a little bit. We take 8 casualties on the ground there. He's coming back with 19 Bettys over Port Moresby. Again, it's going to be rainfall. Well, it's just partially cloudy now, so the rain has moved on. He's got a little bit better bombing weather, but we only take 6 casualties. Well, he's coming back for yet another bite at that apple, though. We damage one plane, take 21 casualties. But again, just like artillery, a lot of this is you disable things, you don't necessarily destroy them, and you disrupt them. And it just makes it easier to attack them. He's coming in on this Dutch group again that's trying to get to Medan. We take 20 casualties there. Okay, he is bombing southeast of Hengyang. We take 37 casualties. We're going to really spend some time in China during this setup phase. It's fascinating, the war up there. Sometimes it can be just a stalemate that's kind of boring. Not this time around. Seagulls in. These seagulls, man, they're going after it. Hit that sucker. Come on. Did we do it? Nope. We missed again with two 250-pound bombs. I'm actually surprised he hasn't moved fighters down here in range because we have taken out a few things out of Cagayan here with that group. Okay, we've got some planes headed down here trying to hit at Semarang. He does have zeros. I've got these on naval attack, and I've got the fighters on escort, and so they're just trying to pick out whatever they can. We do lose 3 of the 139 WHs. Well, it was 8 zeros against those, and then the L212s were coming along for the ride. 3 destroyed aircraft for us. Lots of sightings, as usual. Okay, we've got some air units that are combining as the damage or the planes that were damaged or in maintenance are now combining with their squadrons and following along, which happens automatically. So if you transfer a squadron to a base and some of the planes can't fly that day, the next day or a couple of days later, they will catch up automatically. Okay, he's got a battleship group right off of Port Moresby. Somehow our subs didn't react to it at all because we have crappy subs right now. The battleship Yamashiro is out here bombarding Port Moresby, which again, we don't really mind this so much if we know he's going to take it, because if he destroys the airfield or the port or whatever, man, he's really bombarding the crud out of this thing. Look at that, 4 battleships in this group, along with 6 destroyers. We take 205 casualties, but he really rips up the airbase. 19 on the airbase, but 53 hits on the runway. So that's not really going to be usable for him when he takes it over. Now, he'll get engineers up there and whatnot and start repairing it, but it'll take him a little while to do that. He even damaged the port just a little bit. Probably worth it though. He doesn't know what kind of strength we really have there. So he's got to take the base first and worry about the shape it's in later. Okay, he's unloading here at Majin. He will take that. We have nothing there. He's landing at Rutang. We have nothing there. So this has really been a turn for him to take over some smaller bases. That big bombardment off of Moresby. He's really showing you how to do good invasions, which is, you can land somewhere, get your troops moving towards that, but then you start hitting them with bombing campaign. Then you bring the ship bombardment. Okay, we've got an attack here at Wu Chao, but it's just a Japanese bombardment. And you can see just by what this is showing us, he's got 14,000 troops here. We've got 14,000 troops here. He's got more guns than we do, and he's got 68 vehicles. We have none. The assault value 482 to 433, but this is just bombardment. And so again, trying to soften us up a little bit. And now we're going to bombard out of Port Moresby and try to soften him up a little bit. He does take 24 casualties. And we'll move through the final phases here. But I think that's going to be about it. All in all, kind of a neutral turn from our perspective. We did lose the cargo ship. We've got a submarine that may go down, the Tautog. The Seagulls out there at Cagayan and Mindanao, they missed. They had like 4 opportunities to hit ships out there, and they didn't do so. We also had some subs that were hit in and around Java. We've just got to get them out of the shallow water. They're not doing anything there. He's got numerous ships in that area. He is softening up Port Moresby. It's just a matter of time before he gets more troops there. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. Moresby will fall, and you know that happens. I would, you're always hoping it doesn't, but in this game, with as aggressive as he's been, he was going to get Moresby. We just can't get enough there before he gets there, and so he will take that eventually. But all in all, pretty neutral turn. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to spend a lot of time in China next time. And we'll look around the map at some of these ships that maybe got hit or those submarines that are in a little bit of trouble and check that out. So anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm having a great time with this game. It's been a fantastic game so far, and I'm sure that will continue as we start to strike back. Anyway, till next time, Strategy Gaming Dojo out.